I was moved by that. I was impressed. I was educated. I was inspired, and I'm a bit of a cynic. Tell me your thoughts on that. First of all, great to see you.
Yeah, great. Nice being here, Ezra. I was immensely moved. Speaking to the intellect of Canadians is a very rare task for politicians, and Pierre did a wonderful job. He is absolutely correct as to what's happening. And let me add some context to it. And as you know, Ezra, I look for a pattern, I look for a historical pattern, and then I come to a conclusion as to what is really happening. Pierre is correct about the passports. All great Canadian human beings have been removed from the passport, and there were many, and the list was there. But this is just one of what has happened. There is a pattern going on, and the pattern is not a shock. It's what's to be expected from Justin Trudeau. He is a one world socialist type of person, and the only way you can get to that is you have to remove the history of Canada. Now, what has happened in a short 8 years with Trudeau? Canada is the only country that self-declared itself as genocidal. We're a genocidal country for taking Indigenous kids and bringing them to colonial schools. That is insane to say the word genocide. There's true genocide that's happened in the world, but the label sticks and it's there. We have removed great historical names from statutes, everything else. It's all a pattern. And Ezra, the pattern is quite simple. And that is, if you remove great Canadians that have done great things and diminish Canada's past and scrub Canada's past, then the only thing that remains is the state. And the state is a way forward. We will not be, Trudeau's intention is not to remove Terry Fox for a new person. And that is the slight distinction I would make from what Pierre Polivere said. It is a scrubbing, and it's a scrubbing to keep clean, so only the state leads, only the government leads. So there will be no future leaders that we will, build statutes for, whoever they may be. There'll be no further leaders like Terry Fox that we will come to adore here in Ottawa with his statutes. It's the removal of the individual. And if you remove the individual, the state becomes supreme. Now, that's the goal. The goal is Canada should be relying, or Canadians should never look to themselves. Canadians should never look to its greatness of its people, just the state and the state's direction. And I'm going to quiz you, Ezra. Name me one great Cuban that is not a politician or a Castro. We can't think of one. Name me one. Yeah, name me one great Chinese individual that did X. It's not. It's a state.
Yeah. Well, in China, Mao had a saying, the four olds, old traditions, old beliefs, old customs.
Right.
I can't remember the fourth one. And he said they have to eradicate the four olds.
Right.
Which is what he's saying, everything that the generations before us learned at great cost and over great time and wanted to give to us as the current generation, here's the collective wisdom of all of our troubles. Here's centuries, maybe thousands of years, maybe even more than that, tacit knowledge about what it means to be a person.
Right.
Mao wanted to year zero.
Not replace it with new. It's replacing the person, the individual. If there is no individual, then the only thing that occupies the vacuum is the state. And the greatest example is North Korea. Name me one great North Korean historian. There isn't. You remove all people, all history. North Korea has a long history. Remove it all, and this focus on not an individual achievement, but the state's achievement, the achievement by one family, the politicians, And that's all you have. And you can't look anywhere else. You can't look to your neighbor, a great Terry Fox that motivated millions of Canadians. You can't look to a Nellie McCann. You can't look to these individuals that brought forth this great country. Vimy Ridge, the young men who died to make Canada, propelled Canada into a great nation. You can't look to them. They're not the guys that you should be looking to. Only look to me, Justin Trudeau, and the socialist state. We will solve all your problems. We have your backs. It's